as Jackie Gleason used to say. And away we go. Race to 9, winner side, folks. Hollingsworth, a.k.a. Hollywood, is the one with the neon laces on his shoes right there. He's got his hair all cut up. He's got like designs in his head and stuff like that. That's Hollywood. And I tell you what, the drink that they made and named after him, pretty darn good. If you hear smacking on the mic, it's me. Somebody just passed me a jalapeno pepper. Or a popper, or whatever you call it. Apologize. All right, let me get this. So we got Ryan. Ryan. Oh, I don't know if we're friends yet. Nope. Versus Eddie Little. I don't know who to tag, like who are family members or things like that. So I'm just going to put their names on Facebook. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, okay. All right, I posted it out there in public, folks, if you want to share it. Welcome to. You don't have to, but we do appreciate it if you did. Well, we got 67 shares on this one, so that's nice. All right, let me put the chat back up in here. This way here, if somebody does want to sit in, they can see the comments. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, whoa, wait, yo. Hey.
Can you hear me now?
We got a retired Marine or Air Force over here. We got Brian White in the booth, folks. He's the gentleman that just defeated Hunter White, the young man. Everybody, I'm going to put it right in front of you. You know, they said that you haven't been practicing, you haven't been hitting them, and that Hunter was a favorite coming in.
Yeah, I haven't. Let's see, I took about 11 months off, and I started back about a month ago.
And something with a new stick?
Yeah.
I got the wire, believe me.
Yeah, if I would be back playing to my normal level had I just kept my previous cue, but I decided I wanted to try a low deflection. Since I hadn't played in a while anyway, I was going to try a low deflection shaft. So I was going to go with a Predator 314-3, and it's just been an adjustment. I've only had it a week, and I'm kind of overspinning balls, so I'm still getting used to it. I'm going to start with the match with Hunter. I played a little better. I started just staying closer to the center of the cue ball, and
which is basically going back to 101.
Yeah, and that way to prevent that the overspin that I was getting. And maybe it wasn't overspin, it's just more spin than I'm used to with that shaft. So obviously it's going to take a little time to get used to that. The whole reason I went to it is because, you know, a lot of the top pros, if they're not sponsored and they're not playing with carbon fiber, a lot of them play with the Predator wood shafts. So I thought that maybe if I gave it a little time and got used to it, that it would, in the long run, it would be beneficial to me. So
Give you a little insight into these carbon fiber shafts, and I'm not knocking anybody, okay? Your product's your product. I know an engineer, chemical engineer, that comes to the biggest pool show in the world, which is the Expo. I'm sure you heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he collects exotic sticks. We're talking like $5,000 and up. I mean, this guy just
Right.
has closets full. And he took micrometers, and he made a jig where he can put the stick and flex the shaft so many times. Excuse me. And flex the shaft so many times and put it through rigorous test. Not only does the chemical compound that takes to make that shaft start to break down after a while, and that's where the monopoly of the market comes in. Well, old phone, you got to buy new.
Right.
It's not going to hit the same after a while. Me, myself, I love the wood. The Tsunami shaft, highly recommended. He's one of my sponsors, and not only is he my sponsor, and that's why I mention him, the shaft is a stand-up shaft. He made me a shaft recently and shipped it out. It'll come up on your screen occasionally. You'll see it in the upper right-hand corner. It's made by Richard Shue. Wait a minute. We got Hollywood just won that one?
Yes.
All right. I got to update the score. But I'm a wood person myself. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of knowledge into that carbon fiber that after a while, it's not going to hit like it just came out of the box.
Yeah, for me, the adjustment came from after years and years of growing up, playing with a little bit of deflection, where, for example, if you used left spin on the cue ball, the ball would deflect out to the right and then veer back to the spot you're aiming. Well, now there's not as much deflection, so instead of, for example, when you hit left spin, instead of the ball squirting out to the right and then veering back, it's just immediately starting to veer.
It's more of a direct hit, yeah.
Yeah, so I have definitely in this week realized that I need to play more center ball or stay closer to the center, not get out on the edge, because when you get out on the edge, there is it's a big difference from a normal shaft.
Right. Until you're really comfortable with it. And
Exactly, yeah.
you want to put some excess of spin on something, or.
Yeah, so it's a work in progress, but
Well, it's good to see. I believe I saw you at Josh Newman's room when I come down for the Ronnie Park Memorial. Did you play in that?
no, I was out of town for that.
Okay.
I knew Ronnie really well. I was wanting to play
too.
in that. I was wanting to play in that, but I was out of town, so I didn't get to make that.
Right. Yeah, I know Ronnie. Boy, oh boy. Way back up in the north.
Yeah, the last time I went to Vegas, me and Ronnie rode. We drove out there together and then drove home
He's
together.
a character, boy. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
he was a good guy for sure. Yeah.
What a character he was entire life, and the music that he enjoyed, and he enjoyed life. To be honest with you, he had his problems, but he tried to make the best of it.
Yeah, just a good guy.
Yep.
Plain and simple. Yeah. So yeah, I played him. I've played against him for probably 15 or 20 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I know he won I think he won the seniors at Super Billiards Expo, I believe, one year. And he actually won amateurs too, right? The U.S. amateurs, and then he came in second, I think, the following year, if I'm not
Did he?
mistaken. Yeah.
I've played him in the finals of several tournaments. Yeah. This is a perfect example of a shot that I was struggling a little bit using outside English.
Yeah.
I was overcutting this ball with that new shaft. Ooh, and he undercut it. I was overcutting it with the new shaft because I guess over the years I had gotten used to, with that shot, like I said, the ball squirting slightly to the left and then veering back.
Overcompensated and just.
So with that same sight line, there wasn't the veer to the left, or there wasn't the squirt to the left, so it just started veering right immediately, and I would end up overcutting that ball. But
Right.
since I've gotten, like I said, a little closer back to center ball, I'm not having those problems quite as much. So
Well, I wish you the best of luck with the shaft. I mean, you shoot really good.
thank you, I appreciate it.
And we had a couple of commentators in the booth. I said, look, I'm putting both of you guys on the spot right now. who do you guys like? And it was Hunter, and then a lot of people were up in the. We have comments here on Facebook. People watching. A lot of people going for Hunter.
Yeah, when I was playing every day, that wasn't the case. But right now, I played a fairly solid match against him. But for the most part, everyone knows that I took some time off, and it's probably going to be.
Oh, that was mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. And to be honest, like I said, if I hadn't have sold my cue, I've been playing about 3 or 4 weeks again now. If I hadn't have sold my cue, I would probably be back playing close to where I was playing. But it's
Did you sell it just to play golf, or you just sold it just you didn't want to have nothing to do with it no more? Or?
No, I love the cue. It was
I don't want to get into anything personal, but I just
had it was a Rick Howard. I've played with Rick Howards for years and years. I love his cues. Probably makes one of the best cues in the world. I knew I was, I had taken a lot of time off, and I knew I was going to switch to a low deflection shaft, so it really didn't matter a whole lot what butt I had. So I just decided I wanted something different. And I got a Ariel Carmelli, which the cue plays really good, but I'll be honest, I've had it a week and I already want to go back to the Rick Howard. So we'll see. I haven't made a firm decision yet.
It might grow on you. Give it a little while.
Yeah. And it like I said, it hits good. It's just it's that shaft I'm trying to get used to, but we'll see. Hopefully.
Well, that's today. Years ago, I'm just going to go back years ago. Let's go back to the days. I don't know how long you've been involved with pool, but let's go back to the days where there was only Mucci's or Malleys around. I mean, if you didn't have one of those two sticks, you weren't really considered a pool player, or you weren't considered a hustler, whatever the case may be. But it was all wood.
Yeah.
We used to tune up sticks, house sticks on the walls, stick them under the table, on the rails of the old Brunswick. Just tune up a house cue, get it nice to where you like it, keep it under there. And if you got action, you put your hand underneath the table and you had your cue. Now there's low deflection, high deflection. When does it stop? When does it actually stop?
Yeah.
But I get it. I get it. I think there's a market for everything, and I get the business aspect of it.
Yeah, I think the thing that's important if you take the game very serious is to find someone who can duplicate the shafts. That's one thing that Rick was really good at. Rick
Make
Howard.
A mold.
Not only does he make the shafts the same, but they all hit roughly the same, and that's not necessarily the case for all cue makers. So it's important to find someone that can replicate. That was my whole thought process to going to a Predator. The shafts are roughly the same, so if you get one that you like, you play with it for a year or two, and then you need another one, there's a good chance it'll play very similar.
More of a mass production than a custom.
But yeah,
I know mass production companies and I'm not going to mention any names, that do sponsor professional players. And once the professional player builds the shaft the way they want, designs it with them, they make a mold.
Yeah, and then it's no longer a production.
Right, it's that custom shaft.
Eddie just won a game.
Yeah, okay.
There.
But also, I can tell you the downside of that. It would happen to be a player that used to get hot-headed, and break those shafts.
There's been a lot of them, yeah.
And company just couldn't deal with it no more. It was like, these shafts don't come, there's labor that goes behind it.
Well, that's the only downside with wood is, different cuts of wood have different growth rings and densities, and you can you can get a shaft that you absolutely love, and you can get a guy that made that shaft to make 5 more, and none of them will hit like that particular shaft.
Different fingerprints on all of them.
So once you get that shaft you love, you better take really good care of it. I mean, it's tough to duplicate when it comes to wood, and wood takes on moisture, and then of course You probably sand it every now and again, just very lightly, and over time it takes away.
It sure does.
So it just, that's. I don't know. I didn't know about the degrading of the carbon fiber. That was, in my mind, one of the positives of the carbon fiber. I just assumed that once you found one you liked, it would last you for, pretty much as long as you wanted it. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, this, Alex Borokovich out of Russia, who happens to do a lot of pool promoting over in Russia, introduced me to a friend of his. I smoke cigars, but I like nice cigars. And these guys have really nice cigars, so they came over and gave me a cigar. And we got to talking, and after like an hour and a half, 2 hours, like talking to this guy's like, what do you mean? Like the way he explains things to you with the chemicals, I'm lost. I'm not a rocket scientist. And I said, do me a favor. Just tell me in layman's terms what you just said, And basically that's what he did. He mics everything up. He's got cables. He's got a jig, and he did a lot of tests. And it's really intriguing. I mean, when you think about it, somebody to take that time and go through that process,
sure,
and have the results for you. But he's into Zambotis, and Balabushkas, the old ones. He buys all that stuff. Nice shot.
Yeah, that was.
Hollywood came with it, right?
Yep. 3-1. This alternate break format, it's
tough, ain't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal to. I think it's a pretty big deal to win the lag or the flip, because when you're playing another good player in the matches, you figure it to be really tight anyway. You feel like you're already down a game when they're breaking first.
And then when you're down a few games, it's a climb.
Yeah, it's hard.
The key to it. I mean, if you don't take any chances. If you really chance it, the odds. Don't play the higher odds. Duck when you got to duck. At those points, you got to get the table back in your control. It's really tough. I mean, I did a challenge match between Jason Shaw and Shane Van Boning. It was like a race to 150, whatever it was. It was in Jersey, and Jason was down by like 21 games, alternate break, and he wound up tying it up and then taking the lead. But then Shane turned everything off and turned it on, and he was gone.
Yeah, the top,
Devin.
Top players. It's there's so much to the break means so much. I mean, it's for the top players. It's impossible to out. If one player breaks well and another player struggles breaking, literally mathematically cannot win when you're talking about the top players.
It's one of the biggest parts of the game.
Yeah, for sure. That's why, Shane's a great player. There's no doubt about it. But for people that don't understand how important his break is, I don't try to get into arguments with people over things, but it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I've played pool a long time. I've played pool at a high level a long time. When you come to pure pool, running out, ball pocketing, kicking, playing safe, I don't think he's one of the top 5 or so players in the world. But his break is so good that it makes up for it. And then when I have that conversation with fans of his, they kind of get upset about it. And I'm not saying the guy can't play. He's obviously one of the best players in the world. I'm just trying to stress to people how important the break is.
And how he got there, folks.
Oh, yeah, he worked it, for sure.
Every tournament that I've been in and streaming where Shane was at, the other players go back to the hotel. Shane's in the room practicing his break.
Sure, yeah.
Or practicing a shot. And
I was just going to say, I don't. A lot of people may not have been around at the time, but I'll give you a comparison to it. So before Corey Deuel had ever won a pro event, a buddy of mine actually made a bet with him. But long story short, he came up. I don't know if he came up with it. He was the first person to implement the soft break and the cut break.
Safety break behind the rack.
Yeah. Well, he comes out with it, and he had never won a pro event before ever. He wins like 6 or 7 pro events the very first year he comes out with that break. And it was so bad that
they banned it.
Yeah, they banned it. I mean, That's
and then he figured out another way
yeah, that's
with the new rule.
Yeah, that's how important the break is.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from, now he was a great player already, but he had went from never winning a pro event to he won it was like 6 or 7 events in a short amount of time. And that helped him. I can't remember. I think he was cut breaking to make the wing ball, because people don't realize back in the day, the wing ball didn't go like it does now. I don't know.
Right. It was a one ball on the side or in the corner, depending on how you hit it.
Yeah, and I don't know what changed to make the wing ball so wired now. But, I mean, back in the day, that wasn't even a thing. I don't know if it was.
Well, back in the day, all we did was throw them up there and rack them.
And that was probably it.
You know?
People back in the day, it was rack for each other. So
Right.
I guess people weren't as concerned with every single ball being frozen to every single other ball
Right.
every time, because your opponent's breaking. So maybe that had a little to do with it. But yeah, it just wasn't a big deal back in the day.
Well, the reason I say that, and this is my theory behind it, and it's gold. You can take it. Well, it might be diamond. You know, when you practice that break, it's very easy to get up there, rack them, and break them. But if you practice that break in the areas, whether you're going to be in a tournament, shooting in the box or outside the box, and you can hit that rack, and I said this many times, at approximately the same speed, let's say 17 miles an hour, okay, which is not much. Like Bustamante's up there in the 30 or something like that.
Right.
That's a lot. But if you can constantly hit that break, and this is why Shane breaks for 5 hours and constantly does it, is that arm is trained without him even thinking that he's going to hit this break at the same speed. When you hit the break at the same speed, you notice a pattern all the time. It's happening.
Right.
If you rack the balls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, instead of just pattern racking, just rack them in numerical order, and you study that rack every time you break the balls and do that for hours, you start to see things like a savant. Like, you notice the balls are going in the same direction, which is big, because now that arm is trained and you know exactly what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Then, of course, you don't want to be caught pattern racking, because it's not allowed in a lot of tournaments. But even if a referee is racking, a neutral referee, you know that pattern's going to be there.
Right.
That's huge. That's real big, and that's why Shane practices that a lot.
So what's the score? 3-1.
3-1, yeah. Hollywood's just freewheeling.
Oh, I just missed that kind of bad. Oh, and he got saved.
Missed it pretty good.
See, I'm a big believer in the rules. Call pocket. Well, basically call shot. If you don't pocket, like in other words, he was trying to pocket the 5 in the corner. I'm a big proponent of, if you don't pocket the 5 in the corner, the other person has the option to make you shoot again.
Right.
That way, this doesn't happen where you missed a ball you should have made, and now you've gotten safe, obviously.
Right.
Not a lot of tournaments do that, but I'm a big believer that that's the way every tournament should be.
What did Hunter just say? Hunter just said something. And all of a sudden, my computer closed. Anybody who thinks SVB ain't the top 5 in the world is dumb.
Hunter obviously was not listening to my entire comment.
Yeah. No, I think he's joking around also. No, Shane Van Boney's definitely up there without a doubt. We all know that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'll give you an example. This is, again, my opinion. Fedor Gorst, if the breaks are dead even, in other words, if both people have equal number of opportunities after the break, I think Fedor Gorst would absolutely run over Shane. I also think a couple of the Taiwanese players would as well. And there's maybe 1 or 2 others out there, I believe that as well.
Kopin Yi, Kopin Chung, you're talking about?
Yeah,
I can't. I'm going to be behind Shane 100%.
Oh, for sure. I'm not.
And I know all those players, the other players also, but it's just something about America and something about Shane just goes together.
Sure.
He knows how to market himself.
I wasn't even talking. Mainly, I was trying to impress upon people the importance of the break and using him as an example, because
it's huge. Yeah, his break is that huge.
Well, because he plays other players that I think play close to him, and to be honest, I think 1 or 2 of them actually play better than he does, but his break, he's so consistent with it, and it's the great equalizer or the great advantage or whatever you want to call it. I mean,
he could make just about any shot on the table, whether it be a kick or also he's got the talent. I mean, that goes beyond say.
I'll just give you another example. One of the times that he played Dennis the long race.
Yeah.
I want to say it went double hill. I can't remember, but they showed the stats of the set. Dennis shot like, maybe 930. I guess they were using AccuStats or something to that effect, some similar.
Right.
Shane shot like 890. Shane made, oh goodness, he made like 30 or 40 more errors. Now, I don't know what they consider errors, but he made 30 or 40 more errors. But the match went double heel because his break is just, it's
kept them up there,
yes,
kept them in the game.
It's tough to deal with, that's for sure. And people don't, here's another thing people don't understand. That is a mental advantage for him against other players. Believe me, I've played in a lot of big matches before. When you can see that you are being outbreaked, it damn near breaks you mentally, because you know that you're going to have to play perfect and you're going to have to get a little lucky to have a shot to win. That's how, like I said, that's how important the break is. And you want to talk about the toughest time to play well is when your opponent's outbreaking you, because you feel like you're already beat unless something funny happens. And on the flip side of that, I think that's why Shane has so much confidence, because he breaks so well that he feels like he's got an advantage before the coin's flipped, and obviously that's a huge mental advantage there. I mean,
he puts the time and work into it.
For sure. I'm not taking anything away from
it. Yeah, I know that.
I'll give you an example. I played Larry Neville in the finals of a tournament in Greenville, South Carolina. There were a lot of really good players in that tournament. I played him in the finals. He had to double dip me, and they had played the finals of the winner's bracket on this front and center table, the finals of so I had played 2 matches in a row on it. Then the loser's bracket played their match also on it. For whatever reason, when me and Larry got to the finals, they switched us over to the table beside it. And for whatever reason, I had trouble breaking the balls on that table. He missed 3 balls the first set. I didn't miss any, and he beat me 9-4. And when we flipped the coin for the second set, I already knew I was beat unless somehow something changed with the break. He was making a ball or two every time.
He's got a heck of a hard break.
Oh, yeah.
Larry.
It was fantastic.
Neville's was known around the world for his break, man.
Yeah, he was outbreaking me so bad.
And he'd plant the cue ball. It wasn't like it was a wild break. He would plant that cue ball.
Yeah, and like I said, before the coin was flipped the second set, I mean, I already knew that unless something changed with the break, I could play absolutely perfect, and it was not going to matter.
Devin's got a good point. There is no happy medium. Like Devin's from Canada.
Yeah,
guy from Canada,
I wasn't aware I was speaking negatively about Shane. I mean,
the first 4 words was, I'm not speaking negative about Shane, but this is what I feel is going on with Shane's game.
Yeah, it was just my opinion.
And there are other people in the world that are better than Shane. We all know it. But, it's hard to go against Shane. But me personally, it's very hard to go. Now, I know Kopin Yi, Kopin Chung.
Yeah.
They get up on the table, I'm like, okay, just sit back and watch them win. I mean, you know who they are.
Yeah, and the only reason, I mean, it has nothing to do with Shane, really. I was just, it's just my opinion about how strong the break is. The only reason I keep using Shane as the example is because he's the one with the best break.
Of course, he's at the top of the crowd.
Yeah. If there was, listen, if somebody else was breaking better than him, I'd be talking about them. I mean, so it's not him. Obviously,
Brian ain't holding nothing back, baby.
No, he's obviously a phenomenal player.
Phenomenal.
For sure.
But that goes way back. It goes into his childhood. It goes into how his grandfather took care of him, how they taught him how to play pool, and the thing that he loved to do was play pool. So it goes back to his youth. Not only does he have natural talent, there are other people that have better natural talent, of course. There's always somebody out there, but it goes back to how many years he spent playing pool. You know, that just the natural ability. It's there.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I will tell you this also, and this is a compliment to him, since everybody thinks I was down in him for some reason.
You're going to get bad emails.
Of all the Americans, the top Americans, I always noticed when I was growing up, when you got to a certain level, the top Americans, they didn't practice quite as much. A lot of guys played golf, and I use this as an example, and nothing's wrong with that. Listen, enjoy your life. I love to play golf. But, Johnny and Earl, when they were at the top of the game in the United States, they both became scratch golfers. If you're spending that much time on the golf course to become a scratch golfer, you're not spending enough time on the pool table. And having said that, if you'll ever notice at a tournament, in between matches, the Filipinos, to this day, they all go straight over and hit balls. I mean, they hit balls more than anybody I've ever seen. And Shane does the same thing. So to his credit, he took on, or whatever you want to call it, he emulated, I'm not saying he did it on purpose, he emulated the Filipinos in work ethic, which is obviously it's paying off for sure.
Negative was only worded perhaps. I mean, you can't say anything against anyone in the pool chat without arguments or disagreements. I totally agree with what it's worth. Good man, Devin. I don't know if the board is going to be open, but I hope to see you in January if it does. I will be up there.
So the score's 3-2, huh?
Yeah. I hope I got it right. I mean,
actually, I'm sorry. Hollywood's coin is on 5.
We missed that many games?
Yeah, I guess so.
It is on 5. Is it Hollywood that has 5 or Eddie?
No, it's Hollywood. I saw him move the coin. Yeah, I saw him move the coin to that 5 spot.
Wow. I like getting into chit-chat, it kind of breaks up the monotony. There's just so many things you could say. He's going to pocket the ball in the corner, and come off the rail.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 5 for Hollywood. 5-2. Yeah, and over in the Philippines, Dennis Acola still is one of the most feared gamblers over there. Nobody really wants to have anything to do with him.
It's interesting. If you ask the Filipinos, in their opinion, who the best Filipino is, they almost exclusively say Beata.
Yeah, is that right,
yeah.
Carlo? Yeah. I like Dennis. He's such a humble person. The Philippines are very humble.
Oh, he's so humble. He kind of made my. So I'll tell a quick story.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So the first time, I think it was the first time that he played Tony Chohan in the one pocket. They started playing these races, the 40 or whatever different. I think it was the first time. It was the one in Spartanburg, South Carolina. They came and played in Spartanburg.
Right.
And I knew they were coming, and I always liked to play the top players one pocket because I felt like it improved my game. So I let them know that, when Dennis got there, I was wanting to play him some kind of way, and they said, what do you think's a fair game? And I thought a fair game was 10-7. It was, I can't remember if it was a tight table or not, but so they said, sure, we'll do that. So we played, I think we played 200 a game, and he was basically going to be there for 3 days before him and Tony were going to play. And the first night I beat him. It was close. It was a tough match. I have to play as good as I can possibly play to have any kind of prayer at that. And he's probably improved since then. That was when he obviously had played the game, but it wasn't as much as he's played it now. So I played pretty well on him the first night, and they were so complimentary and so, just humble and complimentary and not I don't know. It was a great experience. And we
not getting irate, just really nice.
We sat around and he talked and he told me about shots that he liked that I shot, and he actually said that he learned a shot or two. It made me feel really good. He was super humble. He's awesome.
Well, I usually travel with an RV. Now this was probably in August. I think it was in August, and I was up in Steinway Billiards in New York. It was a big tournament, and everybody came in from different countries to play in. And Manny, the owner of Steinway, asked if Dennis Nicola could stay in the RV with me. I said, sure. Now this is in August. Now I didn't have the generator running, no air conditioner running. I had to go back to the rig for some wire or something. We were putting an extra microphone or a camera somewhere. And I'm telling you, when I walked in the rig, it had to be 110 degrees in there. And Dennis Nicola was sitting in the back bunk. He's got the window open with a nice breeze coming through. He's got a jacket on, and he's reading something. And I said, Dennis, push this button, turn this on, and the air conditioning. No, big man. No air conditioning. I couldn't believe it. I would die in that heat.
Well, that's from the Philippines, I guess.
So all of a sudden, all right, we fell asleep that night, and I thought I heard gunshots outside. I thought I heard somebody firing a pistol. Well, right outside the side door of the rig, if you can picture a 4x4 concrete slab, if you could just picture that, right? But I was on asphalt in a parking lot. He's running around in that circle, a 4-foot diameter circle with flip-flops on it. Pop, 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 pop. The flip-flops are making so much noise. I said, Dennis, what the hell are you doing, man? He said, I exercise, big man. I said, you got to exercise right here. But we laughed. Then we went down to the dock. He loves fishing. And we went down to Sheepshead Bay area, and he proceeded to tell me the story about his dad and stuff. His dad was a fisherman that got lost at sea and never returned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was really a heartbreaking story. But, you know, it's been many years, and he tells you the full story. Really, I mean, then one morning, I hear music. I hear people singing. I got him and Roberto Gomez. I'm asleep. Him and Roberto Gomez getting ready to go back to the pool room. Singing karaoke together. And when I opened my eyes, I was kind of mad to begin with because I sit here for 13 hours. These guys play a couple of matches and go back to sleep. So I was kind of mad. But then when I looked at them both, I was like, wow, this is like really nice, man. This is what life is really about. I mean, having a good time and enjoying what you're doing, right? Because if you didn't, they wouldn't want to do it. But it was a nice experience. Great people, very, very nice people.
Yeah,
I think I missed the score. I don't even know who won that last game.
Eddie won that game, so it's
got the coin? Okay.
Yeah, it's 5-3.
Got it.
Ryan Hollingsworth. Yeah, Roberto, it was funny. It was Roberto told me that I could go hang out in the Philippines for a few months and play if I wanted to. I could go to his pool room. And he said,
he's funny.
I knew there were a lot of good players in the Philippines, and I was a pretty solid player. He said, but be careful who you play. He said you could literally stand in my pool room and close your eyes and spin your arm in a circle, and whoever it stopped on, whether it be the bartender or the cab driver or whoever, you probably can't beat them. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And then he said, or then I was talking to Alex, and Alex said he played, this was in Spartanburg also, he played the 13-ball ghost, but he got to move one ball after the break, which is it's a pretty big advantage to move one ball. But I asked him, I said, how many people in the Philippines do you think can win this game? The 13-ball ghost moving one ball after the break, which is probably, if I had to guess, somewhere near the 10.
Probably 9 out of 10 people.
Well, I'm saying somewhere near the 10-ball ghost. He said, probably 300 or 400 people. I mean, I can tell you now there's not 300 or 400 players in all of the United States that can do that.
Well, when they play over there, they play the 15-ball rotation, and that's big. I mean, when you got all that traffic on the table and you're playing 15-ball rotation, and all of a sudden it's like going from a regulation table to a bar table. Now all of a sudden you're playing 9-ball. There's less traffic in the middle.
Yeah, I would like to believe that that's probably one of the reasons that the Filipinos kick so well.
Well, they kick with a purpose. We don't practice it enough. You want to kick it. You want to kick at a ball. Kick it with a purpose where you're going to play safe or cause some kind of separation. That's what they practiced.
Sure.
Not only to kick them in.
Oh, sure.
But Lee Van Cortessa came to a world, AKA World Straight Pool Tournament, and his very first one. And I happened to be there filming it. And I said, Lee Van, how do you like this game? Because I guess he did play it sometime or another. but it's his first big tournament. He says, too easy. It's like, what do you mean it's too easy? Sorry, folks, I got a tickle in my throat today. He says, look, Al, he says, over where I live, we play 15-ball rotation. He says, here, I can hit any ball. And then when he started to get the pattern down where he wound up with a break shot, well, that was his first 14.1 professional tournament. Guess who won it?
Sure.
He did.
Wow.
He did. And so strong, I think it's really strong playing 15-ball rotation, or at least practicing it by yourself. And then going and, playing 9-ball, 10-ball is obviously a little bit easier.
Oh, sure. So it's 5-4. This match has tightened up a pretty good bit.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I know the players don't. I like when it gets close and kind of teeter-totters. All right, Devin, where are you? I haven't been reading up there. I'm sorry. You said that right. I hate to admit it, but I don't think Shane wants to smoke right now.
I think that was a comment. Hunter White said that he thought Fedor was the best in the world. He overhit this ball.
I don't think they're going to let me over in January. Is that right? The border's not going to be open by January?
So the border's not open right now. They're not letting anyone from.
He lives in Canada. He usually comes up to the Turning Stone, which is, practically 3 hours maybe from the border.
So is that a Canadian decision or a United States decision? Or is it both ways?
Might be.
They're not letting Americans in Canada either?
It might be a both way. But something, I know people that actually, what did they do? They drove over the border from America, but they had some kind of, some kind of special paperwork. They're on YouTube, and they actually they went in with their boat is what they did. They went in by water, and since they were going up there to film something, they allowed them to go into Canada. I didn't understand it. You can fly it right now from Canada to the U.S., but you can't drive a flight from the U.S. to Canada.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So we're not letting you back out. Well, that's a good thing. We could use good people like you, Devin. We need more like you. You just built a beautiful home up there in Canada.
I went to Canada one time for a college pool tournament. It was, where was it at? Ontario, Canada, I think, or just past Ontario. No, it wasn't in Ontario. It was London. It was a very small town in Canada, just on the other side of the border from Detroit, I think.
On the other side of the border from Detroit.
Yeah.
He'll know exactly.
Maybe an hour. I think it was London. Yeah, I think it was London, Ontario.
London, Ontario, yeah. They come down with, carload of people or two, and we always have a great time. Thing about the casinos is when you have a tournament, I'm not talking about gambling, I'm talking, we go to the lounge, we hang out, have a couple of drinks together, shoot the breeze, 20, 30 people hanging out. It's nice. And nobody has to go anywhere. Your rooms are right there, so we kind of let off steam.
Oh, sure.
Like here, if I got to drive to the hotel or something, I won't be getting smashed,
Right.
When I have the RV out front, I can put breadcrumbs to my door. Then it's totally different.
It's a big shot for Eddie. He's come back. He has
big
a chance
game
to make it 5. I'm curious I guess he's going to try to get underneath the 8. No, he tried to go straight up and down. That's a very tough shot.
Do you play rail first here?
Yeah, I think that's fine. It depends on if it's froze. I think you're fine either way, but here's another example of a shot that shaft that I'm still learning. It just really, it's amazing how much spin that it puts on the ball. He underhit that. He's still obviously a favorite to get out, but he's got to hit this pretty good. I think he's got to cut it in and go across and then back across just a little below where he's at now.
You might be able to get to the first time on the left side, sort of like that.
He hit it.
Uh-oh.
It looked like it was going to scratch it.
Yeah, he's good. All right, it looks like Ryan's going to go up another game.
6-4. I'm gonna hop off here. I think I'm gonna be playing coming up here soon. So
Oh, get out there and practice some.
well, I'm gonna stretch my legs for a minute.
All right, Brian. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Great to have you aboard. Thank you for sitting in. There you have it, folks. Brian White, still on the winning side. 6-4 we have here in this match. Eddie Little trailing by 2. He had a chance to tie it up in that last inning. Unfortunately, he couldn't get there. Best venue ever, toughest to perform. But if you fully enjoy it, you experience as I do. You're right. A Turning Stone is one of the best events. In fact, there's a couple of people here, Devin, that I met. And actually two women. One's name is Mary Ann, and I believe the other one is Christy, the woman we seen on the stream playing, and she's actually Christy is going to be playing in for the hot seat match next after this one. They want to make a road trip. They both said, I told them what the venue is and how beautiful the venue is, and of course it's free to get in. It's not like any other place where you got to pay by the day. Free to get in, and they give you the vouchers and for gambling, of course. But I told them how the venue is set up, and both of them looked at each other. They said, I think it's time for a road trip. I said, it's about damn time. I said, I come all the way down here a few times already. You girls got to get up there. So I'm looking to see new faces, but I told them, look, in January, I said, you got to be careful, you know, if you're traveling up north and you're not used to the ice and snow, because, you know, people down south here, you know, they get hit with a little bit of ice and snow. You know how it is. I said, you're better off coming up in August. Al, tell the folks how you played a 15-ball ghost and rob it. Well, Sean, are you letting all this out of the bag right now? Sean was videotaping me one time when I beat the ghost. What? What's up? I have no idea what Sean's talking about. Sean, did you send me some new number or something? So anyway, getting back to the Turning Stone, if those ladies are tuning. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Devin. So hopefully they'll come up in August. I told them you got to be careful in January. So there's nothing wrong with coming up in January if you know how to read the weather, you know, and look at the 7-day forecast or whatever, you know. If you know how to read the weather, it's better off. But I said August would be nice for you ladies to come up and enjoy the summer up there too. Wow, look at this shot. It looks like a trick shot. If the 7 went in, it would be perfect. And when you torch the pool, well, wait till August and be safer. Sure, yeah, that's it's a safer trip. You know, when you're a southerner and you really don't deal with the snow like up north there, you could get some anxiety attacks, you know. All right, the 2-ball, it looks like the shot is on here for Hollywood. That's his nickname, Hollywood. He's got the 2. He's thinking about where he wants to play the 3. He's hitting it with some inside dope. Man, why did he overhit that? He cooked it like, wow. The table's only so big. I guess he knew what he wanted to do. Wound up banking it, though. 6-ball is way up at the other side of the table, right where he's standing there at the top of your monitor. So if he even pockets this 3-ball in the bottom right-hand corner, he's going to have to, what I like to say is, shoot for pole position to get up front there, because that 8 is there. And, you know, he's got a slight angle off it. See that there? Got the 7 there. He's got to fight for pole position. Unless he goes forward, if he can force the cue ball. Yeah, he went forward and he got there too. If he would have made the 3, he would have been right on that 6 ball. But instead, he's got his opponent hooked. Guys, I got to step out a second.
Looks like Eddie's going to send his 7-ball in the bottom left-hand corner. Might put a pit stop on it. There you go. Send the 8-ball back right up in the upper left-hand corner. Put the 9-ball in the upper right-hand corner. And there's your clear table. Oh, it came back off of there, one rail. Okay. 6-5, Ryan. Yeah. Looks like the cue is kissing that 4. Oh, bring it around. He's gonna have to long distance chop that 2-ball in. Oh, is that the 4? Oh, that's the 4 down there. That 2-ball sitting behind that 9. He's got an eye on that. Oh, dangerous. Looks like he wants to put that 2 up in the left-hand corner. Missed 2 ball up in that left-hand corner. Tight situation here, folks. Three cushion, Ryan. Uh-oh. Oh, it's a little short. A little short of that 2 ball in hand. Ryan has ball in hand now. Still tough. Played safe. Just gonna send that cue ball behind the 9, all the way down the table. Here you go, folks.
Table number 6, playing Davis, Rob Hart. That's race to 9, table number 6. Hunter was Rob out there, Rob. All right, somebody can get it for me. Thanks.
Ooh, double kiss. Looks like open field here. Lined it up. No, not even. Oh, he's got a sight on that too. It's 2 for a few minutes, folks. Good shot. Looked like that 5 ball was past the pocket a little bit. Well, another long distance chopper. Oh. Ryan put the ball in the bucket. Ball in hand for Eddie. Let's look at it from the other side. Looks like Ryan got another one on the board. Not Ryan. Eddie, I'm sorry. Pair of sixes. Anything can happen now. So, folks, Eddie needed a bathroom break. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Good shot. Tight position. Safe behind the 7. I think he's gonna try to bank this off, man. Ball in hand. Try to bank that 3. Put that 4 up in the upper right hand corner. Just gonna have to really draw that cue ball to come back. Nice clean cut on the 5. Just gonna have to bring that back up table
Table 13, Josh
for
Gear.
that 6 ball in the upper right hand corner.
9, table 13.
Oh, too much. Right idea, wrong stroke at the time. Clean long distance shot, 3 to the bottom left hand corner. Probably 2 rail it. Come around the 9 and the 7, sit it behind the 6. Oh, one. Ooh, yeah. Overshot that a little bit. I chopped that 6 ball in the upper left hand corner.
Yeah, tables 1, 2, 3, and 4 are locked up right now. If anybody needs to practice gamble or whatever, you gotta let the bar know. Let the bar stack know, please.
7 ball in the left hand corner, bottom left hand corner. Bring that up. Wow. Wow.
All right, folks, it looks like somebody stepped out of the booth. I'm back. Boy, do I got some good news for you. You know, with the hot seat match coming up for the ladies, we're going to have Julie sit in, maybe Marianne. We're going to try to have 2 female commentators in the booth as that hot seat match is taking place. Right now, it looks like Eddie Little and Mr. Hollywood here are tied at 66, going to 9, winner side. I got 2 guys right now that might want to sit down and get in there. So let's get this out of the way. Put this over there. And we'll get them wired up like the $16 million men.
Table number 8, Jack Abernathy and Brian Davis. Race to 7.
And I'll refresh Facebook here, just in case you guys have any questions for these 2 gentlemen that are in the booth. And we'll get down to talking. Let's see, where were we with the comments? Here we go. Oh, okay. Somebody's got an update on the score, 7-6. Can you see the coins, guys? Yes, it is 7-6. Right? This coin's way up top, isn't it? Let's go to different camera angles. We'll be able to tell. All right, we can't see the coin on that side. There's the coin there. So you got 1, 2. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, on that side. We got a pretty good audience that knows. 7-6, Eddie. All right, we'll update that. So in the booth here, hey, good evening, Roy. Dan Heydrich, I heard you might be coming down. I'd love to see you. 7-6. Let's get these 2 guys on the air. All right. First of all, folks, we do have Billy Myers, and his partner is
Ray Jenkins.
There you go. You're on the air. Ray Jenkins. I just met him outside, and I forgot. Now, somebody just won that rack. Bring me up to date. Where's that coin? Did he move it? Is he on the hill? Is Eddie on the hill here?
Can't tell.
The coin's gone, right? There was a coin on that side, wasn't there?
You can't see it behind the rail.
Yeah, I think it's Eddie's on the hill now. I would have to say Eddie's on the hill because the coin's gone. Okay, Matt says yes, Eddie's on the hill. In the booth here, folks, as you noticed in the upper right-hand corner as the sponsors pass by, you see my mechanic. These 2 guys put a garage together that makes the dealership look like they just started out. I mean, these guys got all the electronics. They're into transmissions, tune-ups, oil changes, basic repairs. Their motto is dealership quality work at less the price. I'd like to see that on a commercial. That sounds like it could go viral. I'm telling you right now. But I actually went down there and I did a video. Don't ask me where I was. I didn't hear yesterday. I did a quick video with a cell phone just to have something. And I'll get it back into the board for the roll. But these are the 2 guys right here. I want to say thank you to both of you, first of all. And I wish you the best of luck. And I think you guys got a good thing going on there. I like the garage.
Well, thank you, Al.
Yeah. Well, you're not on the air. Why? Okay. Try it now.
Well, thank you, Al.
Oh, yeah. There you go. No, I thank you. You know, it takes a lot. It takes a well-oiled gear to keep things going, right? So we can do the right thing and help out as much as we can. And you guys getting on board, helping us stay on the road. It's our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Well, we do the best we can.
You know, I mentioned this yesterday, and there's a lot of people out there that are probably viewing that haven't viewed yesterday. The thing that impresses me about a garage, I have ASE patches in the front end, and you name it, I did it when I was younger at school, when they first came out with the ASE patches. And the one pet peeve that I have, even my personal man cave, is cleanliness. And these guys really, they keep things organized. I mean, you could see it in the video when I run it. I don't have it up there right now, but I'll run the video tomorrow or later on. You notice the cleanliness about it. You know, certain work going on in certain parts of the shop. Of course, as a shop owner, you don't want to lock your front bays up with engine replacements and stuff like that, or head replacements. Of course, you're going to put them in the rear. But, I mean, the cleanliness that goes on there, You know why? I mentioned this yesterday. Like they're replacing heads. I forget what type of car it was up on the second rack on the left. Instead of working hard and getting your hands cut up and getting in there with air ratchets and pulling harness wires out of the way, why not just drop it? You know, and they drop the engine, and it's a lot easier to work on. And that I appreciate when I see things like that, because when you put it back together, it goes back together better than the dealer can actually bring it out, because the timing, I noticed there was a timing chain gasket on the floor there that looked like it was just smothered with silicone. It looked horrible to me, man. And you really don't have to put that much silicone on those gaskets when you put them back in. And these guys are putting that all back together. You really got to get down there. I'm going to put them up on the screen. Their address is going to be right in front of you here. There you see it. Let me take down the scoreboard. They're right here in the local area. 120B Southport Road, Spartanburg. Now, I don't care if you're in North Carolina. You know, something happens. These guys have tow trucks. They'll bring you to the facility. I mean, it's just a matter of getting that kind of quality work, even if you have to drive to them to do your brakes or an exhaust or whatever it may entail. I think you guys are set perfect for all that kind of work right there in that garage.
Al, we try. You know, there's a lot of people that come from New York down to Florida on a regular basis.
Snowbirds, yeah.
Yep. And we'd like to cater to them. You know, they get stuck somewhere in the midway.
Or just an oil change halfway down or something, stop in.
Yeah, or if they have a problem with check engine light or something like that, we can take care of that.
Right. You got the diagnostic machines there and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, a bad tire, anything that needs to be done, you know, we can absolutely take care of within a reasonable amount of time.
Right. No, I got you. You know, everybody knows if you go into the mechanics, it's not just snap your fingers like I Dream of Genie. There's labor involved. But good point. There are a lot of snowbirds. So guys, when I put that business card up there, that's all we have right now, plus a video. When I put that business card up there, what you could do is take a screenshot of it. And if you are a snowbird that travels, put it on a thumb drive or just take a picture with your phone. God forbid anything should happen, or you just want to stop in for breaks or whatever, you know. When you're going across from the north to the south, these are the guys to see. We're going to push it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if you hear something weird going on with the car, because that does happen.
Yeah, cars kind of tell you that things are going to happen.
Yeah. You know, you're on your way, all of a sudden you start getting a noise or something's not weird or your check engine light pops
you
on.
didn't leave the dog running beside the car.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
We'll help you out any way we can.
Folks, you know, it's a personal touch when it comes to whether, you know, a vehicle is probably the second most expensive thing you're going to buy in your lifetime besides your house. So when it comes to personal touch on something that you paid a lot of money for, you need that touch. You need, you know, exactly what you're saying. Hey, your partner doesn't talk too much. We're going to have to get him on the air more often.
Well,
But how's your experience since you guys opened up?
it's been a lot of ups and downs. It's a little slow to start, but now we've got so much.
I heard you got cars coming in on hooks.
Sometimes 15 a day.
Wow. Good deal. Good deal. God bless. I don't mean God bless because the people, something happened to their car and they had to stop and get it fixed. I mean, when you open a business and it starts to roll like that, you know, that's what you want anyway. You know, you want to thrive to do business. And these guys are not only just doing that. I mean, they're doing a lot of other things behind the scenes, helping people out as far as their logo on certain business cards of other companies or credit cards or things like that, so that you're well known in the area. That's thriving. I guess Hollywood just won that one.
Well, Ray actually just started something the other day.
Really?
With
Okay.
Synchrony credit card. We are now one of their premier cards to try to help people make repairs easier. Ray, why don't you explain a little more on that?
All right, so basically it's a Synchrony Car Care credit card. It's zero interest on any purchase over $199. for 6 months. We can accept any car care credit card through Synchrony, as well as Synchrony setting us up with our own branded card, which is going to be a great thing for the local community and even the travelers. I mean, as long as you can get approved on their credit, which is fairly standard, I think it's going to go places.
I think it's a step in the right direction. Positive is a positive, and I think that's a positive thing that you guys are doing to get yourselves out there. Not only that, the parts that you're going to install are guaranteed for so long, also a year, 2 years, whatever it might be,
Well,
and you go anywhere and have it replaced or pick up that part, right?
Well, we're actually part of the TechNet program, which offers our customers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on any repair we do, except engine and transmission, and that's a nationwide warranty.
How do you beat that, folks?
So
Upstate's got heavyweights on his side. Let me tell you right now, these guys are no lightweights. These guys are out there to help people, and to put a package like that together. You're traveling from South Carolina or New York to Arizona and something should happen, and you have their backing with that part on your side. How do you beat that? How do you beat that warranty? That's strong.
And that warranty has a $0 deductible. So the TechNet dealer, that you bring it to, they fix it free of charge.
Free of charge.
2 years, 24,000 miles. I mean,
Now this TechNet group, it must be a group.
yeah, it's a nationwide group. It's backed by Advance Auto Parts.
Oh,
So,
that's why go small? Go for the big guy.
Yeah,
You're right.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's big.
that's why we decided to partner with them. I mean, they're huge. So anywhere you're going to find a Advance Auto part, you will have a local TechNet dealer in the area.
Strong.
One of the requirements for being a TechNet dealer is, I know you had mentioned ASE certifications.
Yeah.
You have to have an ASE certified technician on staff.
Nice. Now, when we were getting into ASE many years ago, there was different categories. In other words, it would either be front-end work, suspension, or combined, and then drive chain, depending on what you went to the school for.
Yep.
Is it that way still, or is it just one badge covers all?
No, it still is.
Still is that way?
It's individual categories. You have ASE A1 through A8, and then you also have a master. Well, if you have all 8 of the certifications, you're a designated master technician, and then there's also a advanced level specialist.
Okay.
And I've got all of those,
Nice.
as well as Chrysler Master Technician, Kia Master Technician. So I've been in dealerships for the last 23 years. So when I say I can provide dealership quality without the price, I mean it.
There you go. There you go. Somebody said something up there. Free for purchase you need to pay in monthly payments. Well, there you go. Mike knows about it. Thanks, Mike, for that comment. Appreciate it. Well, these two guys are right behind the scenes that are actually offering this up. Again, their business card is on your screen right now. Take a screenshot of that business card. If you're in the local area, these guys here want your business, and they deserve your business. I mean, they're trying to do the right thing by getting all these things synced together and get Advanced Auto on board with them, or they're on board with Advanced. There it is. Snapshot that picture with your phone. Give them a call. There's their phone number. Say, hey, look, this is so-and-so, and I want to get on board, and what do I got to do to apply for it? But go through these guys right here because they're the ones helping out. They're sponsoring the stream. Now, let me tell you, I know Billy a long time, and he's a go-getter. Man, when he says he wants to go do something, he's going to go do it. Rest assured, even if he has to swim across a river full of mud.
Oh, you ain't kidding there. I try.
They all know what I mean.
Yeah. I will tell you that we are very busy, and I appreciate the customers. And any pool player that comes in, mentions AZB Billiards, will give a 10% discount.
Wow. How strong?
Okay, on any major repair.
How strong is that, folks? So if you're going in there for a $500 repair, you're getting $50 off. How strong is that? 10% off. All you got to do is mention AZB. Wow.
And the more
We thank you for that.
and the more customers that they bring in, okay, will give a 10% on each customer for that. You know, as
In other words,
an
extra
overall.
bonus. An extra bonus
Yes.
for the customers that they bring in.
Yes.
I think you guys better think about getting another 6 bays soon because you're going to be busy.
Actually, I'm working on a place now that's going to be 16 bays.
There you go.
I don't know when or if it's going to work, but I'm trying.
There you go. I like it. I love it. You know, it's a great country, America, and if you set your mind to do something and you do it the right way, the opportunity is there. You just got to jump on the carousel when it passes by, where it says opportunity, and jump on it.
Yeah.
Great
We're looking to help people be honest. We're not looking to hurt nobody. We're just looking to basically do the right thing and be honest.
There you go. Well, that's the way to be.
And a lot
That's the way to
a
be.
lot of shops out there do not do that.
You see Upstate Al up there where it says Upstate Al? See the big U? And up, you see the big S in state? You see the A in Al? That's USA. You guys didn't know that. It just so happened to work out. No, but you guys are really doing the right thing, and it was really impressive. You know, as I take a ride through the area, and I can't say I drove around the area that much, but I've been here now, 5 days or 4 days, and for some reason, I'm a magnet to mechanics shops, and I see some shops that are real raggedy and stuff like that, and when I drove by, I said, this has got to be the shop right here, you know. And my son said, no, Dad, the GPS is a little further. I'm telling you, that's the shop. That clean shop over there, that's the shop. And it happened to be the shop, yeah.
Well, it's not always clean, but we try.
No, it's clean. Well, we all know. Well, you come from a dealership, and dealerships, they're high on cleanliness, you know that. I mean, it's no
Absolutely.
secret. So, I mean, you got that touch, you know, and between both of you.
Well, when you do transmission work, you have to be clean. You can't be dirty.
Transmission work always intrigued me, man. You know, I had a police, whatever you call transmission, in my, Bobby Blackmore happened to give me his Lincoln Mark 8 many years ago, and it was like police package. So I had to get the transmission rebuilt. And here's one of my neighbors that owns like an Avis transmission. And the guy's like, you can do it in the blind. He's just picking up rings. He's picking up clutches. He's like dipping it in the oil, putting it out. I was like, wait a minute, man. Because I didn't want another transmission. I wanted mine rebuilt. So I stayed with him, you know, just don't swap them out for me. I want the original one back in the car. And I'm just amazed because I don't think I could ever do it. You know, I guess I could if I studied it, you know. But to sit there and just pack rings and which one goes next and which and then make the mistake and have to take it back apart is just not my style. You know, so you specialize in that, right?
Yes, I do.
Your dad was in transmissions.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray is a phenomenal automotive technician. Don't get me wrong, you know, and I respect everything he does.
You have to.
You know,
I do too.
I love doing transmissions. It's something that is my passion. Maybe it's because I grew up doing it with my father.
This is Hill, by the way. Go ahead.
You know,
Go ahead.
and he always taught me cleanliness, respect, and you do the right thing, and you'll always have work. And I always did that,
True.
even to this day.
True.
You know, I've worked for a lot of shops where I disagreed with people or owners and left.
I was always honest. You know, I was a service advisor for many years. All I did was diagnose the car and tell the mechanic what to fix. And I think I told you the story the other night. You know, people would come in for, let's say, struts or shocks, whatever they had in their car, or whatever, brakes, whatever. Our job as a service advisor, of course, is to sell work, you know, not work that's not needed. So we, of course, checking ball joints and we're checking tie rods and stuff. And every time that I would check a ball joint and somebody that was a customer didn't know what could possibly happen if the ball joint actually just snapped. I would tell them, you ever see one of those cars on the side of the road where the tire just flopped in or it's flopped out? I said, that's what happens when your ball joint goes bad. And it sounds like a scary thing to tell a customer, but it's the right thing to tell a customer because that's the facts, what can happen. And for a measly $25 or $30 part plus the labor to put it in, that's saving your life.
Oh,
or
yeah.
somebody else's life,
Not for nothing, but Ray is more of the front man. He takes care of the customers. He talks to customers. I'm more of the guy behind the scenes, which I really appreciate. And he explains things to customers. He makes sure that they're going to be on the road safe, So, Ray, explain some situations that we've come across.
Try and find one I haven't. I mean, it's probably a better scenario. Al, as you were trying to explain, you have to explain things to customers in such a way, you've got to use a delicate balance. You can't, there's a fine line between explaining something to a customer and some of these service advisors out there that are really just using scare tactics to get your money.
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you need brakes in, 10,000 miles guesstimated, I'm going to let you know.
And that's another thing I brought up, not to cut you short. I think, with technology the way it is, a lot of shops, what they're doing is taking emails or taking cell numbers. And there's a lot of programs out there that you can set the parameters on, such as the brakes, let's say, for a guesstimation of 10,000 miles, where the computer actually spit the email. You don't even have to touch it. The program's already set where it'll spit the emails to as many customers that is needed to remind them, hey, you're coming up on 10,000 miles or you might be close. You might want to check back with us soon. Let us do a visual check, So it's a good way to keep the clientele not only abreast of what's going on, but happy that you guys reminded them. Because it's, we become lackadaisy in cars. They say a shoemaker has holes in his feet and his shoes, right?
Absolutely.
So all of us are just human. We become lackadaisy. Like, yeah, I'm the same way. Sometimes I don't change my brakes on my Mustang until I hear it starting to, vibrate, the warning clip or something. Meanwhile, I know I got to replace them, and it only takes 10 minutes, and if I don't do it, I'm going to wind up replacing the rotors and possibly blowing out the boots on the calipers or something. So me, myself, I become lackadaisy, So it's a good thing that with the technology, you might want to look into that program.
Well, I'm not interested in that program, and here's why. Okay, that just increases cost. So we're looking to keep costs down for the customers. So,
well, let me cut you short because it's not going to increase your cost. In other words, in here, I have a program that puts up all these logos, right?
Yes.
It's running. It's running.
Okay.
Your computer can run. The cost to run a computer 24 hours a day is like minimal, nothing, right? So it's running all these programs. It could be doing things by sending out emails. This might not happen every day. You know what I mean? It's just oil change, put a sticker on the windshield. You know how many times those stickers just deteriorate from the sun and people don't realize it?
Every time.
Just automatically it'll send out something like that right to the customers saying, hey, your oil change might be up, last time it was 3 months ago or 2 months ago or something like that. So the cost effectiveness is really not that much. It's just a computer running. You don't have to touch it. It just does it by itself. You don't need somebody there emailing anything. You set up a draft. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a draft, but you can make up a draft. It's just an email, and that draft is sent out to all the customers for the brakes. There's all different categories, which alleviates time and cost of having somebody do it. That's how technology is moving. People are building robots to do things. McDonald's is going into robots. Pretty soon you just pull up to McDonald's, you make an order, robot does the hamburger and everything, puts it in a bag and out the door. They're already doing it.
Nice.
So that's the direction to go, to cut the cost of labor down. I'm just giving you a lead
Yeah.
because this is what technology is moving fast. I have to keep abreast of it because it moves every 6 months. Like your eyes bleed just from reading, you know. But it's just my input that that's not cost effective. No labor person has to be sitting there doing it. Once you set everything up, it runs by itself, which is a nice touch to say, hey, look, you know, just in case. It's not spam mail. It won't be spam. It's not like you're spamming the people. Just a reminder from us to you, you know, with a nice header. I think it's a plus. But, you know, it's your business.
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm all for it. I'm not that smart. So I'm gonna have to get one of the kids in there to get that done.
You and I must have been born about the same time because I ain't that smart either. But I had to read a lot, and I'm telling you, I read till my eyes bled.
I gotta say, you know, we're pretty family oriented.
Who won this match? We were over here shooting the breeze.
Don't know.
Who won over there? The chat will tell us. Your internet connection was restored. Hollywood won?